there glove? I think there was. Yes, indeed. What?
That's...
Bowled him! Lyon gets one to turn.
Oh, no.
Trapped on the crease this time. Gone.
So, first video on the channel. Let me introduce myself. My name is Glenn. I am a retired cricket player. Okay, I still play club cricket, but I have a huge passion for cricket. I've been playing cricket since I was probably could walk, 3 years old. I had a cricket bat in my hand, and I thought my passion for cricket, what better than to create a YouTube channel. I do have a YouTube channel on something else, but I thought I would create this channel separately and make cricket content. I love talking about cricket. I love watching cricket. I love cricket analytics. I love statistics. I love all that good kind of stuff. So the Ashes is coming up, and I thought what I'm going to do is, what a great video to start the channel off with. So I'm going to deep dive into the Ashes. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Ashes. I'm going to give my predictions. I'm going to just give you a breakdown of what's coming up, because the Ashes between England and Australia is the oldest rivalry in cricket, and it is exciting. It is, for me, it is pure cinema. I love it, and yeah, I thought I'd make a video and let's deep dive into the Ashes coming up. And if you can't tell, I'm super excited about the Ashes. I am living in South Africa, so I will be getting up early to watch the Ashes, because this year it is in Australia. So for me, it's going to be early hours of the morning, but I can guarantee you I will be adjusting my sleep schedule and covering the Ashes for you on this channel as well. And what makes the Ashes even more amazing is that it's not just a test series. Okay, it's about tradition, it's about pride, it's about having bragging rights. And I thought I'd give you a fun fact. The last time England won an Ashes series down in Australia was in the 2010-2011 series. Okay, a long time ago. So yeah, can they do it again? Can they actually win down under with what a lot of people are saying is a weaker Australian team? And in the 2023 Ashes series, England and Australia tied the Ashes series. So Ashes is a 5-test series always. They tied it 2-2, which meant that Australia retained the urn. Okay, because it was in Australia. Okay, last year it was in England, and you know, obviously it exchanges every year. So 1 year in Australia, 1 year in England. Okay, so last year it was in England. The previous year that it was in Australia was 2023. And that is the series that was tied 2-2, which meant that Australia retained the urn. So for England, they need to win the series, either obviously 1-0, obviously 1-0, 2-1, 3-1, whatever. As long as the test series is not tied, or obviously Australia win, England need to obviously win it to get hold of the urn. All right. Obviously, when you're playing at home, you have a bit of an advantage. If you tie the series, the 5-match series, then obviously the home team will keep the urn. So let's get to the dates and venues of where the 5-test series will be played. First test, which will begin on the 21st of November, will be played in Perth. Second test, starting on the 4th of December. This one will be played at the Gabba in Brisbane. And this is even exciting because it will actually be a day-night test match. Third test, starting on the 17th of December, will be in Adelaide. Fourth test, which starts on the 26th of December, which is the iconic Boxing Day test, will be played at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Okay, the iconic Boxing Day test. We all love it. We all love the day after Christmas, getting up, watching that Boxing Day test match. And the last test will be on the 4th of January, and that will be played at the SCG, the Sydney Cricket Ground. As you can tell, this is a long tour. Obviously, 5-test series is a long time. It will be played over basically 2 months. So, yeah, exciting. Looking forward to some amazing test match cricket. And let's talk a little bit about the series. Let's cover some things. Let's see what's going to be happening. Let me give you my thoughts. The first thing is, I'm pretty sure England are hungry for a Ashes win in Australia. Like I said, the last time was in 2010 that they won down in Australia, that they won the Ashes urn in Australia. So they must be hungry for a win down under, for a Ashes, to reclaim the Ashes from the grasps of Australia in their home ground, in their hometown, in their home country. And obviously Australia will have the home advantage. They'll have the crowd. I know the news, the crowds, it becomes a basically a 12th man for whoever's the home team. If it's in England, same thing. The Barmy Army gets behind and all the crowd get behind England. Same thing when in Australia, you'll feel it. If you're an England player, you will feel that crowd against you. And that, like I said, that is a 12th, that's an extra team. When you are out in the middle and you're batting, or when you're fielding in England, you will feel that. The crowd is not behind you. The crowd will be behind the Australians. And a lot of talk has been about the Australian squad. Do they have, we know the bowling, we know that bowling lineup is super strong. The Australians, they've got, obviously, I know that Cummins is not available for Test 1 and Test 2, hoping he will be back for Test 3. Okay, obviously Steve Smith will captain the Australian team in Pat Cummins' place. And the thing is, Australia's bowling lineup, even without Pat Cummins, is going to be very, very strong because Scotty Boland. Okay, what a replacement. Any other country, I can guarantee you that Scott Boland would be playing. He would be one of the first bowlers picked in the starting 11 of a test team, any other country. But obviously, Australia have got Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood, and then obviously Nathan Lyon. And then they've got the all-rounder of Bo Webster and even Cam Green if he can bowl. Now, obviously, with Cummins injured, Scotty Boland will be playing in his place. That is basically a like-for-like change. Obviously, Scott Boland doesn't bat as well as Pat Cummins, but in the bowling department, very, very top-level bowler in my opinion. Like I said, any other team, he would be in the starting 11. Whereas, in my opinion, it's going to be the England bowling lineup is not as strong as obviously but the England batting lineup, in my opinion, is stronger than the Australian batting lineup. Australian batting lineup looks fragile. It looks like we do not know who's going to open with Usman Khawaja yet. So, in my opinion, it's going to be a test between Australia's bowling attack versus England's batting attack. And vice versa, obviously, in my opinion, the England bowling attack is not as strong as the Australian bowling attack. So, therefore, in my opinion, it's basically going to be a tale between two of the weaknesses playing against each other, if that makes sense. Like I said, the Australian batting lineup versus the England bowling lineup, and obviously the Australian bowling lineup versus the strong England batting lineup. Now, a lot of people are talking about the second test, which is going to be the day-night test. In my opinion, it's not as much of a big deal. Now, I know Australia play a lot of day-night. Well, they play the most out of all countries. It seems to have taken popularity in Australia, whereas in countries like England, South Africa, we have not played day-night test matches. So we don't play them at home. In Australia, it seems to have taken off. But in my opinion, it's not going to make, even if England go down in that Ashes test, the second one, the day-night one, they still got four tests to where they feel comfortable. That makes sense. But the thing is, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference playing day-night. Okay, obviously the ball is pink instead of red. Wow. But yeah, it's still going to be cricket. So you play ODI cricket day-night basically. So one team will bat in the evening, one team will bat in the daytime. Same thing. It's just going to be a test match this time. Okay, so now I'm going to give you 3 players from each team that I think that you need to watch out for, that I feel like could make or break it for their teams. And let me talk to you about why I say this. So for England, I'm talking about, of course, Joe Root. Okay, if he comes off, if he hits form, England's batting lineup will flourish. Okay, when Joe Root scores runs, England do well. So he's number 1. Number 2, Jofra Archer. If he can stay healthy, he can make a big impact with the ball. If he can knock over Australia pretty easily, okay, if he can get on top of the Australian batting lineup, which seems pretty fragile in my opinion, then England can have a good chance of winning the Ashes. And then the third one, Harry Brook, of course. If Harry Brook can come off and hit form like he has in the ODI series against New Zealand, he's been scoring some runs. If he can carry that form into the Test series, then him, Joe Root, trust me, it's going to be a long Test Ashes series for Australia. Now, Australia, of course, like for like with Joe Root, I'm talking about Steve Smith. Okay, if Steve Smith can score runs and bring the Australian batting lineup some runs, like I'm saying, then it will give the batsmen around him a lot of confidence. It will give them a lot of confidence, and because, like I said, the Australian batting lineup looks a little bit fragile, so they'll need runs from Steve Smith. If Steve Smith does not score runs, Australia will lose the Ashes. That's a bold statement from me, but that's what I'm going with, because he needs to score runs. Okay, like I said, there's no one else in good form, in my opinion. There's no one else as good as Steve Smith in Australian batting lineup. So yeah, they need him. They're relying on Steve Smith to score those runs for them. Next player is Mitchell Starc. Okay, Mitchell Starc, if he can get those ball swinging, those perfect left arm in swingers going and troubling the England batsmen early, then I think it's going to be a good summer for Australia. I think they'll be on top. Like I said, the England batting lineup is strong, so they will need Mitchell Starc to strike. He obviously is going to take the new ball. He's going to take the first over. They'll need him to strike early, like in that Ashes series down in England when the first ball was bowled and he knocked over Rory Burns, first ball of the Ashes series. Now, if you can set that tone like that, then trust me, Australia will be on top of England. And player number 3, Travis Head. Okay, coming in at number 5. Crucial position in Test cricket. If he comes off, Australia will be on top. If he doesn't score runs, Australia's middle order is looking very, very fragile. Okay, he is attacking. He bats attacking even in Test cricket. But the thing is, if he doesn't have that form, then Australia's totals not going to be very high. Especially if imagine Steve Smith and Travis Head not hitting form, then it's going to be smooth sailing for England, in my opinion. And let's get to my predictions. Okay, let's go with each test, and then obviously I'm going to give you the final, who I think is going to win. So let's go with the first test. So let's go with my prediction for the first test. I do think that Australia will win this test. I think that they will go 1-0 up in the series. Second test, I think we'll go to Australia again. Okay, so it'll be 2-0 to Australia. Third test, England. Fourth test, England. And then it will go down to the last test. And I think that England will win the Ashes series 3-2. Now, I think that the first 4 test matches, there will not be a lot of weather around. But in my opinion, Sydney Cricket Ground, there always seems to be a bit of weather around. Okay, so I think weather could play a part. Now, I think England will win that test, but it could also be a draw. Therefore, if it goes to a draw, Australia will retain the Ashes because it will be 2-2, based on my predictions. Okay, so I do think that England will win that last test. So what I want you guys to do, if you don't mind, let me know in the comments who you think will be the player of the series. Who do you think is going to be the MVP, basically, like we all call it, the player of the series. Who do you think that's going to be? Let me know, and then maybe let me know why. Maybe let me know, give me your reasoning behind it, because I love to hear that kind of stuff. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. If you've watched the video this far, really do appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And yeah, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I will be posting more videos more frequently on this channel, and let's see what we can do, guys. So yeah, thanks for watching the video.